Episode number 18, The Tree Shop Part 2. Hey everybody, it's Dak here, and welcome to another episode of The Adventures of Zenonia. We are in the second part of the tree shop. We will be building the, I guess it'd be third floor, and probably not finishing the third floor in this episode. It's a little larger than the second floor. What you're looking at here is a clip of me extending the outside or the perimeter because I only made it tall enough for that second floor, so I had to make it a little taller. But on this one, we will be, let's see, we'll be making the two rooms to finish up the, I can never think of their names. The saplings. So the dark oak and the acacia saplings, we'll be making those rooms. And then we will begin to make the rooms for the raw wood and the oak or the planks, not oak planks. I mean, they could be any planks, but that's how it's gonna be today. So let's get right to building the rooms. All right, so now that the perimeter is the height we need it at, I will be extending the pillar in the middle that eventually we are going to have the staircase on. I know that's not the first time that I've said eventually, but I do have a plan. I'm not just pushing it to the side. I already know what the staircase is going to look like. I just plan on building that after I build all the rooms. Once it is high enough, you will see that I extend all four pathways, excuse me, doors that we will be placing the next four rooms in. This is just basically needed so that we can get from place to place. And I'll admit, ender pearling up to this third floor, one of the hardest things I've ever done. It's like 3 or 4 more blocks higher than that first floor was, or the second floor was, so not as easy as it looks. Alright, so now we are ready to build the next room. This is going to be where the acacia or the dark oak, or really, doesn't really matter which sapling is going here. I know that it will be saplings because the oak planks and the raw wood, oak planks, I keep calling them oak planks. The wood planks, excuse me, and the raw wood, the room designs are a little different. So this is definitely a sapling room. Just not sure which sapling yet. Really don't think it matters that much. But what we use this room for is what we use this room for. Excuse me again. This room is going to be pure parkour, pretty easy to see where to go, not any tricks and whatnot. Just sprint jumps off of the chest onto the next area. And then I branched out on either side a couple times because I didn't want this branch to just go really, really far out. I thought it'd look pretty stupid. So it does branch out that little bit, and then eventually, I'm going to make the roof a little different than usual, which is why I had to cut out a couple times. Not only was this room taking a little longer than I wanted to, but yet again I had insufficient supplies with me. I forgot to bring some leaves. So about halfway through building this room, I noticed that it was not a lot bigger, but a little bit bigger than the original design. You'll notice that I might pause or count or whatnot, but I finally decided it didn't make much of a difference. There was just more space between each chest, which made it wider and longer, but it wasn't big enough to get too far out of the chunk or just look ridiculous on the side of the tree, so I stuck with it. There was one of the cutouts that I was talking about before, and in this new clip, I'm basically just continuing what I was doing before, kind of building the floor out a little more, getting the walls started. It's kind of slow moving at times because I did have to sneak click on the floors, and I was watching a movie while I recorded this. It was a pretty interesting movie too, so I'll admit that I sometimes stopped paying attention exactly where I was clicking. My bad. But this room took me much longer than I thought it would. I don't know if it was the size or if the design was just too complex for me. I don't know why. It definitely took me a lot longer than I expected it to. But it is one of the simpler parkours, and I do think it is also one of the more unique ones. It's a little different from the others. There's no turning and spinning and doing different jumps and trying to find spots. It's really basic to just jump forward. And you'll notice that I keep putting the roof in and breaking it. That's because I just want to know where the roof was, but eventually, like I said earlier, I am going to put leaves in it, so that's more just a placeholder to see if the roof is too low for me to make the jump. We will have one more cutout in this room here in a second, and then after that clip, the room will be done. Hopefully this is the longest room we have of all of them, but it may not be because we do have some larger rooms coming up. Alright, I went down and grabbed some leaves, and this is the last clip of this room, and it is a short one too. All I gotta do is place the roof in, and I already got the blocks around it placed, so it's just placing some leaves. That's it. And as promised, as always, as whatever other I will have the little clip at the end showing the actual parkour in regular speed. And this is one of the easier ones, so hopefully I don't mess up too much when I try to actually do the parkour. So I do have one little chest glitch. When I tried to jump up on it, it shot me back and stuck me in the side of it. Otherwise, I thought it was pretty simple. I am doing little sprint jumps here, not just jumping from spot to spot with ease. And there's the chest glitch. So this is pretty good parkour, and the chests are kind of hidden if you don't really know, so I like this room a lot. Alright, so this last room here is going to be the last sapling room here. I didn't mean to say last room, I meant the next room. I will be using the little water bucket method to place blocks under me, or under blocks that I'm standing on, if that makes sense. This was kind of a pain in the neck process because even though the water bucket is much easier than going below and climbing up and you placing the blocks, it's still a pain to be swimming in water and placing blocks because every time I place one, you see that the current changes, pushes me to a spot. I had to throw a couple ender pearls to get back up sometimes. Kind of pain in the butt, but the butt. But it wasn't too bad. I think it's better than trying to, jump and place dirt under me, get up there and place a couple blocks. I like this room. It's going to be a little different than the other rooms because it's really not parkour at all. It's just hidden chests. Alright, so in this clip you see I have that small platform and I'm going to the top to place the chest that it'll look like there's only one chest, but in fact behind it there'll be a little hole that you can drop down to the other seven. Kind of like this design. It's not a parkour at all. You literally just walk up the stairs when you're done. Though I do have the clip at the end where I actually do it because I figured you guys still want to see what the room looks like completed. But I don't know. This is probably my favorite room of the place. I don't know why. It's different parkour or different idea because it's not parkour. I just like the hidden chests. I like that if you were just walking up, you'd think that there was only one chest in there, and you go behind it. It's surprisingly hidden just putting a hole there. I do have a hole under the chest too, the one block right under the chest you can see. So you can kind of tell there's a hole there if you're looking at the chest because there's a block missing from under it. But definitely it looks kind of hidden when you're standing there, and I think that's a pretty different part of it. And that's kind of what I'm going with this tree shop. I don't want any room to be the same as the last. Alright, so as we place the final torches so that no zombies and creepers spawn on me, I walk up here and I'll show you a little clip of me jumping over this chest. We're walking down all these stairs. You can see all these other chests just relaxing down here in a small room. Then you can go up. You can use the block just that the chest is sitting on to jump up over it. And there you have it, hidden little chest room. Alright, so now that we have finished the sapling rooms, I will be creating the next room, which I haven't decided if it's going to be planks or raw wood yet, but it really doesn't matter. So the difference between these and the sapling rooms is I'm going to make I'm going to make these rooms in two openings. So it's still going to be kind of, actually I guess it's a lot different. It's going to be different areas for each spot. It's not going to be a bunch of chests in one room, and it's still going to have the parkour and whatnot. But it's going to be two larger rooms. So one of the large rooms will hold all of the raw wood, and the other will hold all of the wooden planks. And then within those rooms, it'll be parkours to different areas so that you can get the rest of the wood. This is in this one, it's a pretty spacious start, as you can see. And then after that, I place the chests in, and two of the raw wood or oak. I always say oak. Two of the raw wood or wood plank categories will be pretty easy to get to, not much of a parkour. And then there'll be a parkour in the middle of the room that gets you to either any of the three walls, excuse me. And on those walls, there will be doors that get you to the rest of the wood. So you'll see me right here with these little roofs. I do play around with them a couple times, and I end up changing it one last time towards the end. I remember this clip from, or excuse me, this room from the original. but not a lot. So I did have to do a little bit of compromising, and it's a little different than what I wanted, but turns out to be pretty good. So I had a little bit of a cutout there. I was kind of having trouble with getting that parkour right and getting all the measurements. I had to just stop, kind of look at it for a second, and just relax, figure it out. I don't know, stressing over it a little too much. Then right here, you'll see me have a little trouble with this parkour. I miss it 2 or 3 times, and then I'll do one more cut here. And that cut was basically the same idea. Now here's the clip, as always, of me just doing the parkour. What I did was I moved it, or excuse me, I kept it the same, but I just decided that to jump to that block I could not get to, I would jump to the center blocks, which you will see right about here. I jumped to those blocks instead, and it's a much easier way to get up there. So I didn't have to change the design much, and I was still able to finish the parkour. All right, guys, so continuing on with this room, or to the next room that is attached to this one. This is, how do you explain this? Very skinny and tall room. This parkour at the end, probably my most difficult one for me at least. I had a kind of tough time doing it. But I like this design because one, it was pretty easy and quick to build. It's just straight up, the chests are literally stacked on top of each other. And the parkour was it was a very basic pattern. I just had to place the blocks over and over again until I got to the top. This building of the wall it was kind of tedious, kind of difficult because it's weird. It's difficult because of how small it was. It's kind of tough because I kept having to go back and forth and place blocks, but it didn't turn out to be too bad. And I guessed the height pretty good the first time, so didn't end up using as much jungle wood as I thought I would use. And the room ended up coming out pretty well. So I am able to finish this room at the end of this clip, and as always, I give you the parkour. But I gotta warn you, I had a really hard time with this parkour, and I don't know why. This is basically the exact design as it was when I first made it in the creative world, and I thought the parkour was easy. It was one of the easiest I had done. And gosh, it had to take me like 3 dozen tries to get up it. And I probably should have kept all the clips and shown you guys because it was pretty ridiculous. But I was getting super frustrated about it. But finally, as you can see right here, I was able to get the parkour, and I do mess up a couple times here, I think. But at the end, I finally get up to the top. And I did also notice you really only need to go about halfway up to get to the top chest. So if I'm having trouble like that again, I don't need to complete the whole thing if I really just need to get some wood. And there's 2 double chests full at the bottom anyway. Shouldn't need them that bad. Alright guys, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's not too much shorter, but a little bit shorter than usual, but that is because for me to fit the next room in, it would take a little bit too long. So I thought I'd take this time to ask if you guys are following the series, or maybe this is your first episode, anything, you're enjoying it, go ahead and click on that subscribe button for us and maybe drop us a like too. It's very helpful, and if you have anything to say about it, anything at all, constructive criticism is always appreciated. Any feedback, we really love it, because really knowing what you guys think is super helpful. We want to know if you guys are enjoying the series or not. So like always, drop us a like and a comment. Join the cul-de-sac by clicking on that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at TheEdBoys, and don't forget to check out the Foxcraft website. All links are in the description.